far below the front stage. Another soul lands on the wrong side of the king's harsh judgment.
Hello, my name is Martin Malik, and I'm the game director behind Once Upon a Puppet, as well as the founder of the studio behind it, Flatter Than Earth, FTE for short. Welcome to our first FTE broadcast. Once Upon a Puppet is at its core a puzzle platformer, and on that foundation we were allowed to build a long-lasting, interesting narrative which allowed us to create a deep and beautiful world of theater and puppets. Watch out, Neve! Neve is a stagehand and she is one of our two heroes.
Convinced she can correct her fateful mistake and reclaim her old life, Neve sets out to find the spellbound spool and weave its powerful thread into a costume worthy for the king.
Here you can see the light traveling through a stained colored glass, which is a part of a stained glass story puzzle you can view anytime you want. The spotlight now shines on Drev, our hero puppet. He is a curious little fellow who loves to act. Finally, they meet. Neve the stagehand and Drev the puppet. They are at odds with each other at first. But with a little bit of help, Drev and Neve become bound by mystical powers. To see how, you will need to play the full game. Strings are now attaching them both to each other. Where there were two, there is now one innocent to-be superhero. They can walk, run, collect, and do many things. For example, one of the most important skills in any puzzle platformer is jump. I must say jump was a unique opportunity for us. The theme of puppeteering allowed us to experiment and deliver a memorable jump inspired by puppeteering strings. We are now in level 2, beneath the stage. This area leads us to the market of Puppet Town, where Drev and Need are on a journey to solve the mystery of the strings. We encounter a puzzle where Drev and Neve must help a friendly puppet. You won't see the full puzzle right now, but it follows the classic puzzle platformer mechanics. Here is an example of the essential theatrical set movements that are part of the DNA of Once Upon a Puppet. A moving wall. One key aspect is the symbiotic relationship between Drev and Neve. Drev is an actor, driven by the desire to perform. Neve is a theatrical tailor, skilled in crafting costumes. This dynamic allows them to support each other, blending their talents. Here we find an antique sewing device, one of metal, which allows Neve to create costumes. Right now, she's creating the mayor's costume for Drev. He can act as if he chooses so. Right. Boom! That was the punch ability. Neve stabilizes, which allows Drev to stretch, fly, and hit. We now encounter a monster behind bars, who remains at a safe distance, but later we will face them head-on. We also meet Kompel, a friendly companion who serves as a guide along our journey. A little further into the understage, we tug. Imagine lifting and maneuvering an entire stage as part of the gameplay. Our world is full of little details, like this petrified puppet. Neve grabs, Drev pulls, and they slingshot. Only possible through the unique bind bestowed upon Drev and Neve. Someone has just captured a stagehand. Our shadow puppet-like projections are one of my favorite elements of the game.
I've been expecting you two. Come, we have much to discuss.
That was the voice of the Oracle. We are extremely proud of our theater's storytelling cutscenes that are key to unwinding all the mysterious events that have, are, and will need to happen on our journey.
But the lady invited the king to first prove his worth. He must embark on a quest to find a fabled and magical ring hidden deep inside a forbidden forest.
The settings you will visit in Once Upon a Puppet are most beautiful. We meet Kumpel again. His task at hand now is to give us the king's bow and arrow. As you can see, Neve holds the bow and Drev pulls the strings to shoot. One of the standout elements of our game is its art direction. Everything is crafted as if it were part of a Broadway spectacle, with the illusion of an unlimited theatrical budget. Every environment, set piece, and character is designed to feel as though it belongs on a theater stage, immersing players in a world where every detail is intentionally placed to support the story and its beauty. Drev gets caught, but Neve is there to save him, which is another great example of Drev and Neve's symbiotic ties. We now reach one of the most important features in our game, the rebuilding stages. What you see here is a broken memory of the king, one that he abandoned, discarded, cast away. It was left to decay and to be forgotten. It is a theatrical stage puzzle that we must fix. Drev must be dressed and act as the king, wearing his Hunter King costume and wielding his hunter's bow. This is the only way the memory will recognize Drev and open its secrets to him. We worked very hard to fulfill this vision of creating a theatrical experience in a video game form. Here we pick up a special story collectible. Unlike the stained glass collectibles that you have seen so far, these are deeply tied to the game's main story characters, such as the Oracle and the Mayor.
Night had descended on the Phantom.
After successfully rebuilding a king's memory, we are always presented with a revealing theatrical cutscene. We are now in a king's memory that took place in the crone's hut. We have 12 rebuilding stage puzzle and story moments, and this is another one we must rebuild and retell.
Domain in search of the mythical ring. Deep inside the heart of the forest, the unyielding grip on the prince's heart grew tighter. Entering Castle Lumina, the prince finds the once resplendent fortress has fallen hostage to despair.
We now jump ahead in time to witness a spectacular memory, a vision of the king's castle before its downfall. Heroes face many challenges, for instance, a 360 tower that guards access to puppets sentenced by the confused king. At this point, Trev is wielding a magical lantern, allowing him to eradicate and dispel scary elements such as this black ghoul called stage fright. As mentioned, we have 12 rebuilding stages, each with its own distinct stage setting, memory, and emotional story moment to discover. At the end of the game's journey, the stage is set to finally face a powerful figure. He shapes our journey from behind stage, hidden within the shadows. The Shadow King. There's so much to discover about him, and I invite you to do so by playing the full story game this spring.
Thus, the broken kingdom would slowly rebuild from ruin.
Once Upon a Puppet is coming out on PC and consoles end of April this year, and I thank you very much for spending time with me here now, and I wish you many happy playthroughs.